Head coach Jamie Gordon, Lindsey Roth, and Ellie Robertson are joining us here on MSUEagles.com after a 3-0 victory over UT Martin here in Weatherby Gym this afternoon. Lindsey, we'll start with you. Defensively, you gave the team a really big boost, especially in the third set. Talk about coming in and getting some really key digs there in that third set.
Yeah, after the second game, Coach didn't get on me. I'm not saying that Coach got on me. But yeah, he made it a point to me that I need to start going after balls like I know I can. And so I came out in the third game with that attitude, not a ball. I don't want a ball to drop. So it's kind of one of those things, going after every single ball, at least making an effort for it.
Ellie, talk about offensive performance today. Overall, the team hit 360. Just talk about being efficient on offense and what was working today.
Well, our team's been doing actually pretty well with this recently. You can always tell when we play solidly all the way around because we do have such an efficient offense. And it really starts with a pass. If a pass is what we call in system, which is like right to the setter, then we won't have as many blockers up on us. Therefore, we have more open shots. So it's to have that kind of hitting efficiency is a full team effort. So it's really an accolade to the whole match. And I'm very proud of us offensively and defensively.
In the third set, started off a little bit slow. What turned it around in the third set? Were you able to finish it out strong offensively?
I think it's just an attitude and a mindset, and I wish we didn't do this, but we kind of almost had a rude awakening when they came back on us. And it was kind of like, all right, let's focus back in and dial it up, and we went back to taking care of each contact versus trying to win the whole match. And that's really what it's about, is just being specific with what you're doing at every single point and every single play.
Coach, kind of add to that a little bit. Pretty good, like you said, a pretty good offensive performance and defensive. Just talk about what was working for your team this afternoon.
Well, one thing that we did is we had a good balanced offense. Not only did Ellie have strong performances, Aaron Bohannon, Courtney Smith both did a great job on the left side, and Annie Grunschlager had another fantastic night, hitting over 400 for her second consecutive evening. The other piece that was big for us is finally our block kind of awoke out of a hibernation for the last several matches. So that was good, and it was able to help us out defensively. But I thought overall, offensively, what we had was a very consistent performance. I think I would have to look back at each of the matches, but I don't recall a single match that we've hit over 300 in each of the 3 sets, and that was something that was really solid for us.
Defensively, as you mentioned, 9 blocks this afternoon. That's the most in quite a while. And UT Martin, a pretty athletic team, but your team holds them to 38 hitting this afternoon. That's kind of the bread and butter of your team. Also, you're the leading team in opponent hitting defense. So just talk about that and how you're able to maintain that every match.
It starts with the serve, and we kind of gave a couple points away early in the first couple of sets, but one of the reasons that I think we were okay with that as a coaching staff was that they were being aggressive, and that's one of the pieces. Our defense starts really at that serve, and if we can get our opponent out of system and not allow them to get into an offensive rhythm, then it allows us to be at the advantage on the matchup. Having some athletic people out there like Laura McDermott and Annie and Ellie, and what we can put at the net is quite a barrier, and then having that defensive anchor with Lindsey and Leslie, and actually Colby Cameron has been playing really great defense for us, stepping into a role that's not typical for her. It's a full team effort, and where maybe our back row play wasn't as sharp early on, our blocking was really good. And the last several matches where our blocking hasn't quite been there, our back row has really stepped up. I was very pleased with the job that Lindsey did. I think she really set the tone for us in that third set. As Tennessee Martin made a big push, which we expected for them to do, she really stole a couple of points, and we were able to transition well out of that and get a couple of probably points that we shouldn't have.
Lindsey and Ellie, you guys are on a 16-match winning streak, actually one of the longest in the nation, but you know, some teams would be like, hey, we're just going to go out and win every game just because we're on a 16-match winning streak. How do you guard against that? You got to just keep doing everything you do right every game and every practice.
Yeah, it's really about focusing on the game that's in front of you. You know, you can't be looking at the past ones and you can't be looking at the forward future ones. You've got to focus one game at a time, and that's how you continue on that streak. You can't overlook any opponent. And that's just how it has to be done.
And a lot of it's like keeping that consistency from game to game. Also, in each practice that we do, preparing for the game, which is important.
Guys, congrats on another big win. We'll talk with you next week. Again, Jamie, Lindsay Roth, and Ellie Robertson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, guys.